Josh, how are you, mate?
Hello. Good. How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing well. Where do we find you camping out in the car at the moment?
I am at my youngest kid's outside of his basketball practice.
Right, you got the Golden State jersey rocking as well.
Yeah. I've always worn jerseys, but I wore jerseys long before I got into basketball.
Sure.
Like I watched it when I was a kid in like the '90s, obviously, because the Bulls,
Yep.
Jordan, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then in the mid 2000s, I would watch it on ESPN like at night, like if I was nothing else was on. Watch like Kobe and all that stuff. And then my oldest, got really into it, and I watch more basketball than he does now.
Nice.
So,
Mate.
Do you use the jerseys as like, are they good to play in? Because like a bit of freedom, on stage.
well, when I was younger and it didn't bother me as much, I like this freedom of the arms. And
Yeah, yeah.
the original reason why I started playing in them is we were on tour with Linkin Park, and I got a tattoo on my shoulder like during the day of a show or the day before.
Awesome.
And
Bit
I
of
was like,
friction
well,
on the new tattoo
yeah,
would
I
be,
was like,
yeah.
I don't want my t-shirt to be rubbing against it or whatever I was wearing. And then we were in San Antonio. I specifically remember it. I was like, well, I'll just go into the San Antonio store because it was Lincoln Park and they were arenas. So I went into the San Antonio Spurs store and got like a Tim Duncan jersey. I was like, I know who that player is. So, and that's kind of what started all of it. And I kind of go back and forth. They're as nowadays, like they don't breathe
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
well. I mean, maybe like the actual NBA ones do a little bit more than like, you know, a, what I have.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
not, they're
clip
not
belts for shit
cheap
munchers.
jerseys, but they're still not like NBA jerseys,
Yeah.
so
The old school hoopy, yeah, really airy ones.
yeah.
Nice.
Hey, mate, the album Arson, it's been out for about a week now. How are you
Mhm.
feeling now that it's out in the world and the public's getting around it?
I'm extremely happy about it because I've had this album fully finished since June.
Damn,
So
man.
like, so it's one of those things where it's like once it's finished, I listen to it a whole lot, and then I have to kind of step away from it for a while to like lead up to this stuff and the release, so it kind of feels new to me again.
Mm.
But it's the excitement of letting everyone else getting to hear it or having the opportunity to hear it in like full, that makes me very excited because I love the record, the band loves the record, so like, we always hope that everybody likes the record, but ultimately we love it and it's fun for us to see people's reactions to it and how they respond and everything. So yeah, it's super exciting.
Is it hard to put it out of your mind for that time where you're sitting on it for so long until release day comes around? Like, is it something that you're sort of listening to every now and then, or are you sort of like, well, until we drop it, maybe I'll just try to pretend like, nothing's happening?
um I don't ever do that, but I do, like, I'll go a long period of time without actually listening to it in
Mm.
like full, other than like, Gasoline came out first. So like, okay, let's go relearn that song from the studio because, I tracked everything in February or March of last year, or the most of the chunk of the record. And even before that, we did 5 songs back in uh late 24. So um it was just like you do things a few times in the studio and that's what's tracked, and then you don't think about that song anymore until it's time to like, oh well, what are we going to play?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
then I have to go back and really like dial in. Like we just played the CD release show here in St. Louis, and there was two that we had already learned for Gasoline and Disconnected, because those were the first two, and whatever. And then we played three more. So like I had to, I would go up to rehearsal before everybody else. And, that's when I start like really digging in and like, trying to remember everything and figure out,
Yeah.
oh, I did that there. How did I do that? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Because like when you record drums in the studio, like especially if like songs are being like put together pretty quickly, there's usually just kind of like a rough drum demo.
Hmm.
And then like you change things when you're in there kind of on the fly, whatever feels right in the moment. I'm not a guy that particularly plans out every single fill before I sit down. I kind of just let it happen while I'm playing, and we'll
Yeah.
adjust from there and add to it or tone it down a little bit or whatever. So like I have to go back and, oh, okay, I know what the song sounds like, but I don't remember how exactly I did that specific fill or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean? So
Interesting.
it's that's my process at least. I don't
Yeah.
know
Is
how
that is that
everybody else does it.
is that typical for like a story of the year record? Like, do you guys find that that's typically how you're and doing the recording process? You're getting to layer drums, picking and choosing the parts as you go, sort of working through it, or in the past have you guys sort of live tracked together and tried a bunch of different things?
We've kind of done everything. Page Avenue, it was so early on and we didn't know anything like that. I had been in the studio maybe two or three times before
Hmm.
with like my old first band. And then, when I joined Big Blue Monkey, which is what we are now.
I'll have to ask you about that later too. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was in the band for like a week and had to go track like two songs.
Were you
You
playing
know
the
what I
click
mean? So,
already, and like you were used to that part?
oh, no, no, no.
Oh no.
There were no clicks back then.
Yo,
But back
yeah,
then you all played together.
for sure.
So it made more sense, like, you know what I mean, to not be on a click, I guess, because we were just used to being kind of like a live band.
Yeah, it's
So
raw. Yeah.
that's how we did it. But as time went on, like, yeah, Page Avenue was first time with like a click in the studio. So that was a learning curve, and you know what I mean. So that one, we built the songs as we wrote them with Feldman, and it like, if we usually just wrote the song to like we might have demos and stuff, but then we would just sit down with acoustics, and I would have sticks on like a pillow, and like that's how
Yeah.
we would do the song, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
initial part of like the writing part of the song, and then like we would do two or three of those, and then we'd walk into track drums. They'd lay down a scratch guitar track, and then drums were tracked. You know what I mean? And that kind of went like that for, well, no, the second record we decided to do it. We tracked drums with all of us playing at the same time. So we tracked drums live, but like the guitars and all that stuff weren't like officially tracked.
Yeah.
So that I didn't like that as much for me. Like we did a lot of demoing and pre-production with Steve Evans. Like we spent a month doing that and tracking demo drums. That was one more that where we did kind of plan things out.
Yeah.
Because we were going to track drums like that. But that's way too stressful for me because you get 3/4 of the way through a song and you drop a stick or you mess a part up, and it's like, okay, I guess do this whole thing all over again. And I always feel like everybody's looking at me going, dude, come on. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a little nerve wracking. But then after that, it was very like everything's done in like sections. You know what I mean? So the last two records though, and even maybe on Wolves, drums were tracked like last or second to last, which I actually like prefer because I'm not a studio drummer. Like I've had my struggles in the studio. Like I'm like, whatever. And I'm open about that. Like I'm pretty self-demeaning with my drumming, but like, I like to have, like, if a song is done, like this is the structure of the song, this is how it's going to go it's about 95% there. I like to have that song for a month or a collection of songs for like a month that I can come back home with, sit down and play along with them. I start by playing with like what the demo drums are, and then I kind of add to it as I'm playing along with it, and then I'll take the drums out and I'll play with with just a click, and then like the music, the rest of the music. I like doing that, so when I go to the studio to track, the majority of what I want to do is like kind of done. And I did say I don't plan fills because I do like to have like some input on that from other people, because sometimes a drummer is a drummer and it's way too busy for what the vocals are doing. So you got to bring it down. You know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. But I like to have the songs like with me for a month or two so I can get fully used to them, and I'm not just like scrambling in the studio like learning the song as I'm tracking it.
Well, if nothing else, it sounds like your process is completely dialed now over there. The last 20 years.
Yeah, I've learned a lot of lessons along the way on what works best for me, and kind of it also, like, I could go track, if I have that option, I can go track a whole record in like 2 or 3 days, and it's
Yeah.
like you're not grueling. It's not a grueling process. You know what I mean? So it just helps me because then, like, you can get through a song quicker, and then you're not fatigued. So like later in the day, you can still get a song done, or
Mm.
at least part of a song done. You're not like you haven't been playing the song for 3 hours, the same song. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it ebbs and flows, and it's but that's generally how I like it to go.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I know you've got a couple of festivals and stuff over the next few months, but like, are you planning to tour this record pretty extensively
Oh
after that?
yeah.
And I guess follow-up question, is Australia on that list? I know you were here in 2024 for the 20-year anniversary of Page Avenue, so it would be good to have you back for sure. I know there's a big festival at the end of the year here that I'm not sure if you've been penciled in for that, but maybe that smile says something.
I haven't heard about that, but our management is pretty good at not bringing us anything until it's like
Good at bringing anything. That's weird. Two words from
uh,
the.
it- oh, is it? I don't know what it's called. What is that? I don't even know what it's called.
It's a good things festival, is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, like I don't I haven't heard of that, but I'm not
Maybe
very good at paying
maybe
attention to things.
2026 is the year that you do.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, Australia is always on our want to go to list. Like, we love it there. We've always had a great time there. We've always had great shows there. Australian fans, generally speaking, they're, how can I phrase this?
No, do it. Do it.
No, you Australians are like really good at not giving a shit. Sorry, we're on the radio. Is this okay?
you're
No,
right,
no,
you're right.
no, no, no. You're good.
Okay.
You're fucking
Um,
fine.
Yeah.
Okay. They Australians are good with our whole gambit of songs. It's not like, we put out a record here sometimes and people are like, well, I wanted to give this record a chance, but like I'm really more into their heavier stuff. Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, Australia has always been, whether or not I do feel that Australians like the heavier a little bit better, they don't mind the other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when we went down there and played Knotfest, I was like, we're gonna get crap thrown at us because we're not that heavy. We have some heavy, but we're not that heavy.
Yeah.
But and then, like, you're at Knotfest and everyone is singing Until the Day I Die.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like the balance has always been great. Like, we're not pigeonholed down there like you can be here, especially on festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just love Australia. If I could move there, I would.
We'd
But
love to have you.
You guys are smart, and you make the process harder, so you don't get infiltrated by people that will come ruin stuff. Not that people do that here. I'm not trying to make a political statement. I love it there. I'll just leave it at that. And I want to move there.
The used basically live between Australia and America, so
I know.
making it work.
That's the only thing that'll suck. It's like, I always think about that with Bert, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, you have to, like, come to America like 3 weeks before.
Yeah, it's
And,
pretty
like,
stiff. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's always been like crazy to me. And then, like, how much does that cost your band?
Yeah.
Fly back
Yeah,
and
just
forth
bill 'em.
all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, dude. I love it there. Yes, we are going to tour this record. We have a couple things that are being built right now. Be like, other than like what the festivals are, but there's this nice gap in our schedule right now, like halfway through August all the way till October,
Sure.
which gives me a lot of time to come to Australia and play shows.
I like that.
So
very cool.
I said this to our management over the weekend. I go, there's this gap here. Can we just and I know they've inquired about it with the promoter down there and all that stuff. So we will be there.
Love
Lovely.
that. I mean, that was a really nice evolution of maybe then this and then that and then yeah,
Uh-huh.
look, we've been quiet. We're gonna don't worry about it. Okay, yeah, we'll be there. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, I sidetrack sometimes.
Yeah, we'll get you a Brisbane Lions jersey. I'm sure my co-host has got 10 spare for you, so he'll throw you one if we catch you backstage.
I'm all about it. I have no loyalty to anybody. I watch players.
We love that.
So like, I mean, we don't. St. Louis doesn't have a basketball team, so I can't be like loyal to anything.
Yeah.
Like we have baseball, hockey, and soccer.
Are
Other
you
than that,
are you devastated that the Rams got shipped off to LA?
I'm I was never a big football fan.
Yeah.
Like, um, the only thing I thought it was crappy about it was the way that it went down.
Yeah, it was
I
awful.
mean,
I
that's just
hated that. Yeah.
it was just so like sleazy, like
Mm.
just very like gross businessman stuff that like and then like you hurt like our economy in St. Louis because that's a lot of jobs that are taken away. That dome there sits there and they do things there, but like they just did it poorly because
Yeah.
they didn't do
Everyone
anything.
hates it.
Yeah, it was bad. They did not do the around that or that dome, the stadium, well.
Mm.
Like it's just nothing around it was built up to like make it like what would be like a Sunday football experience that you would go to in all of these other cities and stuff. So it's the whole way it shook out was just kind of gross. That was the only thing.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the sport per se, but whatever. They weren't our
Now,
team in the first place.
yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Our team
on
was
a,
in Arizona.
on a real quick, like super weird tangent, you mentioned Big Blue Monkey before.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you're aware of Finger Eleven's original band name. They were the Rainbow Butt Monkeys before they were Finger 11.
No, I
Uh,
did not know that.
And I just wanted to bring it to your attention that original Rainbow Butt Monkeys t-shirts are selling for like $250 US, like in vintage like tea stores at the moment. So if you have any vintage Big Blue Monkey shirts, it would probably do the same thing. I don't know if it's the monkey factor or the butt factor that's working for them, but it could be
in
good
this
for you.
day, in this day and age, I would say it's the butt factor,
Probably.
which is fine. But I think I might have a couple in storage.
I'm just saying.
That's the problem. It's like I wore them all the time. Like so, I wore
Maybe
them out.
even more than
Yeah.
It could
Josh
be,
Wills
I don't
DNA on
know.
there.
Cut the
Yeah,
sleeves
I
off,
don't
turn them
know.
into singlets.
yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
Mate, the new record, it is fantastic. Arson, check it out wherever you get your music, and better yet, buy yourself a physical copy. You can do that through the Story of the Year website. We cannot wait to see you down under, which you've basically confirmed at this point, Josh. Mate, thank you so much, and thank you so much for the music over the years as well.
Yeah, man.
For a record that you've openly said you didn't know what you were doing. I mean, Page Avenue, it holds a special place in my heart and many others. So
Yeah, mine too, man. Yeah, appreciate it. It's so good. So much nostalgia. And anytime like you hear any of those tracks from that album, it's just like it just takes you to a place. And you say that the heaviness might not be there for like crowds like Knotfest, but like what you guys bring in nostalgia is worth twice the weight of the heaviness. So
I appreciate that. I mean, it was a special time for us, and it did that record. It did everything for us. So I'll never not love that record. Like it's there. You go through time. I mean, it's not what's that record 20 almost it's 22 years old now.
Hmm.
But like you go through times where you're like, I don't want to play that song. But then as we've gotten older and we took a break and we came back, it's every time we play any of those songs, you see it on the crowd's face, and I'm excited to play those songs when we do play them. I like taking a little break from them right now because we did so much with the 20th anniversary. So, it's not like I got sick of them. It was just more like, okay, can we play some other stuff now? Because all our sets were so Page Avenue heavy that like now that we have this new record that we love, we want to play those songs.
Yeah,
I mean,
you've got 11 new tracks that you can just start beating the hell out
Yep.
of. I'm sure you're very excited.
And we did 5 at the album release show in St. Louis, which is nice. And then, now there's 6 other songs that we can like start rehearsing and picking and playing whenever we go on tour and play shows now, and it's fun
Yep.
to have the
And thanks to
options now.
social media and TikTok and stuff, like the song that you don't like the most probably on the album could end up being the biggest because it gets used in some weird
You
thing.
know what, dude? At this point, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it's my least favorite song and it makes us more well known with a new crowd, and I get to play bigger shows, I don't care. I love the whole record, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, of course. I love that for you, man. Honestly, so stoked for you guys about the album, and cannot wait to have you here down under again.
I can't wait to get there. I am punishing my management about it, so we will make it happen, and we will be there at some point in time for sure.
Love it, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you
you guys. Thank you.